Hi, and welcome to episode 35 of Chris Latinas. It's a knitting and crochet podcast. My name's Tara, and coming to you from White Plains, New York. If you're a new viewer, thank you for checking us out. If you're an old viewer, thank you so much for coming back. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you know when new videos are coming out. Also, follow me on Instagram and Ravelry at Chris Latinas. So I found out something very interesting because I'm a ditz and I'm not tech savvy whatsoever. Alexandria of the Firebound podcast said she couldn't put comments on my video. And I said, I don't know why I didn't turn them off. I found out why. So apparently, YouTube asks this question now, which they used to not. And they ask, is it kid-friendly or is it an adult show? I thought they meant, is it rated R? So apparently, because I've been saying it's kid-friendly, they've been sending this video to kids. They must be like, who is this crazy knitting lady who's talking about tea and yarn for an hour at a time? Yeah. So thank you, Alexandria, for finding that out. She also pointed out something else to me. Oh my God, I'm so bad. But I've been putting my show notes in the Ravelry group, and she said you could put it on the down bar. So I'm now going to put all my notes on the down bar. And also I want to ask you guys a question. What are you knitting for Advent? What patterns and what Advent calendars did you buy? Please comment away. I am so sorry about that. Also, if you want to DM me on Instagram, please feel free. I would love to hear from you. Sorry, I'm like, today. All right. So because this is an Advent episode, I have been noticing that a lot of people get stressed out because the Advent calendars, they don't know what to do with them. And I know I have a hard time choosing what color to do what. So I want to give you a few suggestions. Plus, there are some Advent patterns that I have been knitting that are not mine, but a lot of people have been commenting they like a lot. And I am just going to show you how I knit these patterns that are very popular, that other people, why mine look different than other people's. Because apparently a lot of people have been saying that they want to knit it this way. So this is the time to learn. So the first thing is the Northeasterly blanket. This is probably the one I get the most comments on. First of all, what I do is I get only pastel yarns for this. It's going to say 90% it's Sweet Sparrow yarns. Julie does this amazing job dyeing. She's one of my favorite dyers, and she's such a great person. I love talking to her and everything. But like, look how dark this is. You know, that's not a pastel. Neither is this one, but it's got a pastel quality to it. She makes everything so soft that even when you're getting a dark color, it has a pastel quality. That's what I love about her yarns, and that's why most of these Advent calendars are in here. I buy her Advent every single day. By the way, we could do a drinking game. How many times I'm going to say Advent during this episode, so get some drinks. But I just love her color palette. It's just so cohesive. Everything goes. It's beautiful. And these are the two from this year. And this little acorn she gave me, which I love. It's so cute and sweet. And I included this navy one just now, and I'm going to put this one as the next one. So it's going to go nicely next to those two, I think. That's going to be the next one. So let me tell you how I knit this. So not only pastels, but what I did, well, first of all, when first Advent calendar I got was the same year Shenanigans decided to release this. I fell in love with this colorway, and I kept knitting it. So I knit it for 20 garter bumps. And I knit the next one over in 15 garter bumps. And I did 20 and the 15. Then the next one up, sorry if I'm getting you guys a little dizzy, I did for 10 garter bumps. So all the way across, I always did 10 garter bumps. Then over here, I did 15 all the way across, and then I did 10 again, and then 15 again. So I alternate 10 to 15 through the rest of it. The first one I made a little bit longer, because, again, it was mostly because of that color. Plus, you know, that's going to be dragging on the floor, so I figure make the color, in case it gets dirty or whatever, you can see it a little bit better. So I just keep alternate 10 and 15 bumps all the way across, and it makes this beautiful kind of wavy type of pattern because of that. You know, I mean, the pattern's already chevron, I wish it was chevron, but it just makes it extra wavy because they're going up and down like that. And that's how I knit my Northeasterly. Another pattern I have been knitting is my Habitation throw from Curious Handmade, who you know is my favorite designer. And what I've been doing is I've been holding the yarn double with Knit Picks Aloft White. So it's a nice mohair. It's very soft. I know a lot of people complain that the mohair frizzes and goes in your throat and everything. I have not had that happen with this yet. And maybe it's just me, or maybe it is the yarn. It doesn't frizz. I don't know. But it's been nice to use, and it's very silky, and I haven't had any fuzz all over me. So that's been a plus. And then the other yarn I'm using on this is Clark and Elle, the Year of Minis. So basically they decided last year, I think they might be doing it again this year, I'm not too sure, that they did a mini set. I think it was of 12 or 13 each season. So you'd end up with 52 minis by the end of the year. I am only using 50 in this because 2 were really neon-y. And they were like the same kind of greenish yellow, and I'm not really a fan of that color. So I just decided to exclude it. Plus, by the time I got to the middle of the blanket, because it was getting so big, that I was just like, I'm going to run out of yarn. And I really wanted to do it in a certain way. So in the directions, she says, go until you're done with the mini. And I think it was for 10 grams, not 20 grams. What I have been doing is I've been knitting the first square. I knit for 3 eyelets. Then after there's like a garter ridge on top of the eyelet, then there's the next one. That's when, after I'm done with that next one, that's when I change to the next color. Now for the first 5, I knit 2 eyelets. After that, I did 1 eyelet all the way to the end. And luckily I did have enough yarn to keep doing that, because I was going to freak out a little bit that I was going to run out of yarn. I was just going to get rid of a row of garter to try to, so I wouldn't mess it up sort of. But luckily I did not. So by excluding those 2, it worked out really well. I've already started decreasing. And then this is, let me show you. This is all the winter. Then when the pinks, that was the spring. I did move this pink. It was over here, and I thought it looked better over there. I'm very glad I did. And now I'm starting the summer. And I did peek. That's how I found out about the extra color. So that is that one. Now, another thing people think is that when you have an Advent pattern, you can only use minis or scraps to make it, and you have to change color constantly. That is not the case. So I designed this one. I think it's my first Advent design I've ever did. And this is out of Teal Torch Knits Advent Calendar. I did it as a collaboration with her. And every day it was a different pattern. So you never got bored with this, because you're always going to learn something new, a different technique. So it was a lot of fun to knit. And I actually loved these neons. I enjoyed this, I think, because it made it into like a nice rainbow. Especially, you know, I loved this section because it's pinks and blues and purples. I loved that part. But what I did last year was I decided to re-knit this pattern. And I did it in only 4 colorways. So you could do 4, 3, whatever, 2 if you want. And just alternate every day. So I just kept going like that. And it came out really beautiful, and it was still scrappy. You know, it's just the 4 of them going on, and you still learned all the stitches and everything, but it just has a completely different look than changing every single day. And these are all Sweet Sparrow. Well, these 3 are Sweet Sparrow yarn. Again, I'm not sure if this is Floor or this is the Creme de Coco or whatever that was from the Advent calendar. I love that color. I really got to find out from Julie what color that is. Then this is leftover from my Tega sweater, Blueberry Mousse, and then Alma, which is a great green that goes with any purple or pink. And then this is Old Romance from Sweet Tea Yarns. I think it's a better way. You can see it better. And I just kept alternating those 4, and that's how I got this one. Now, another thing you could do is you can get a main color and put it in between all your minis to break them up. Because, like, I know a lot of times, sometimes you get a lot of speckles and it's just too busy. So by getting a solid color in between each of the minis, it breaks it up. Plus, it gives you less stress to try to figure out what color to go next, because you know it's going to be a neutral color. And it's going to go with everything. This is my Rose Garden cowl. I have 3 different versions of it. This is the Advent version. It's all made out of Knit Picks yarns, and I used a gray from Stroll to go through all of them. And it just came out so nice. Another version of it was I used Turkish Delight from Sweet Sparrow Yarns, and I just put it in between 3 minis. So this is from Beehive Yarns. This is her berry mini set, I think it was. And this is Alma again. I tell you, I have Alma in everything. And it just came out so nice having just the 3 minis with the main color going through. So that's another way you could just use it. You could do a small project, and instead of just using one color as your contrasting color, break it up and use 3 different minis, and then you have the 1 main color. And then where's the... I have a one color version, but it has disappeared apparently. Yeah, I'm not finding it. So I will go on to my next thing because it's hiding from me. Oh no, here it is. I found it. This is the 1 color with the 1 mini to make the short version of the Rose Garden cowl. Okay. And then I knocked everything off. Sorry. Then this is another pattern I made. This is just regular scrappiness I did from a lot of, not from Advent calendar, for scraps that I had left over from Advent calendars and from other projects. Most of it, again, is Sweet Sparrow yarns, because again, the pastels. And I think I got some Bad Wolf Girl Sits and Knits in here and everything. So this is the Lacy Advent cowl. It's just basically lace patterns going on and texture. Then I came out with this design this year. It is called a Scrappy Good Time Socks. It is by Moonglow Yarns. And I loved this because you got a main color going through. And it really made the minis pop by having a dark main color or having a super light, like a white. I've noticed that makes them pop. You can also use self-striping yarn if you want to do as an alternating colorway. It would look great in these socks. And I'm actually knitting this 4 times, and you know me, I never knit a sock more than once, and I cannot stop knitting different combinations with this. So this is the Haunted Rose Garden colorway that Moonglow and Love and Stitches put together. Then I did, oh god, I am so sorry, everything keeps falling. I got too many little things around here apparently. This is Country Door and gosh, what is the other colorway? From Mandies Makings, this is. And it's just 2 colors that I decided to alternate. It's the same exact pattern, but it came out a completely different look because of that, which I love. What was it? It was, sorry, I really want to say what this, Country Drive was the green, and then the brown is Wooden Beams. That's what it is. And I am working on the second one in my slip stitch studio. I didn't get that far with it, unfortunately. And I'm using a US 1 2.25 millimeter needle. And I have this cute little thing from Itty Bitty Delights again. And this is Slip Stitch Studios bag. I basically bought this yarn for my shawlnography, and I didn't like the colors together. It was just not my cup of tea. You know me, I like pinks and purples, and I really wanted pink in it. And I bought this really fast, but I am using these yarns for socks, and they are coming out so beautifully when you just put 2 of them together. I'm supposed to have all 5, so I am enjoying this so much. Then the original sock colorway, I was going to do the Share a Pair. Oh, the Share a Pairs from Mandies Makings is basically, she takes 2 colors, and she divides the skeins in half. So you end up with 4 skeins. Then you keep 2 colors and you give your friend 2 colors. And then you each get a pair of socks out of it. So the original Share a Pair was the Afternoon Tea colorway from them. But I felt like when you did pictures, it wasn't going to come out as brightly. But I love these colors together. And that's a little progress keeper I made. Isn't that cute? It's like, see how it's blowing out? That's why I figured this was not good for pictures. But I'm just going to do this anyways for me because I love it. How it looks. It's so pretty. And this is in a Molly Klein design Baby Yoda bag because my son loves Baby Yoda. I could not resist this bag. And everything else is holiday themed except for those 2 bags, I think. I don't know. I couldn't resist. It looks good together, right? I love it together. And now it's a big knot. Okay. I fixed it. And then I got one more version. This is, again, another Molly Klein design bag. And this is Moonglow Yarns, her Crazy Cauldron set. And Simply Serving little thing. Let me put this down. Sorry, I got problem with having scrappy projects. You have all these yarns that get tangled up together. Oh, and the best way to wind minis, there are 20 grams and 10 grams, is to just put it on a Swift and then hand wind it. Because when you put it on the yarn ball winder, it ends up becoming too loose and it ends up just becoming a big mess. So the best way is to have it in a ball. I mean, it still comes out a little bit, but it seems to be cleaner than when I would put the other ones in the ball wise. I can't talk. Sorry, it's late at night. It's the only time I can record. Don't ask. I tried recording this about 7 times. I'm not kidding you. And I really wanted to get this out to you. So again, that's why it's so dark. Sorry about that, people. But this is Moonglow's Crazy Cauldron set. I'm about to add the heel and the yellow in it. And I'm loving how this turns out. I just love black with the pinks. It's so pretty. Very excited about that one. And I just want to do all the colors in the sock pattern. I am obsessed. It's crazy. I've never wanted to knit socks more than once. And all I want to do is knit these. It's very odd for me. All right. This is a pattern that I just released this year. I am so proud of this one. I love it because I love fairies. This is the Sugar Plum Fairy Shawl. And the yarn is Dagwood and Dandelion. Or no, it's Dandelion and Dogwood. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you, it's late, people. Well, look how pretty. I love it. This is another pattern that would be great for having only 4 colors in, because basically up here, you would just alternate the 3. And then down here, you would have your 4th color. You probably, I don't know how many. I'm actually thinking about knitting this, so maybe I'll weigh it out to find out how much you would need. You might even be able to get away with a mini on this. You know, or maybe just 30 grams. So this would be great for scraps. And I did a little fade down here, but you could just do a solid color at that point. But Sugar Plum Fairy, I love it. I love fairies and butterflies. And this, you can go either fairy or butterfly with this one because it's so cute. So that one, and then this is my last Advent pattern I made. It's just basically a lot of textures on it, which are pretty, and it's just striping, which is another good way to get rid of your Advent. Just keep striping away. This is the Candy Cane Lane Advent shawl that I designed. Hi guys. So yesterday after I was cleaning up, I realized I forgot 2 projects, so I decided just to refilm the whole entire end of the podcast. So here are my 2 projects. The first one is in my Mrs. Brown bags. It is my Cozy Memories blanket. Oh my God. And it's from Kemper Way. I basically did this how he said to knit it. And I started out with Wool & Vine's Black Pearl. And I just went 7 this way. And I started going up. And this is my princess thing from Molly Klein Designs, which I love. Tiana, Mulan, and Moana. I just love that little set. So I decided I wanted this more in the middle of the blanket. And then I started picking up at the cast on edge, and then I cast on some on this, so I made this square, and then I just kept doing that until I got a little square. So now I can go any way I want in this blanket, and I have more choices on where I want to put the yarn. That was another problem I was having. I couldn't decide what color to do next, so now I have more choices on where I'm going to put the next color, because I think I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I have a lot more choices. So that helped out a lot. And basically what I do is when I get a pastel yarn, I put it in one basket, and that's for my Northeasterly. And when I'm done with my Northeasterly, I put in another basket, or I put it straight in this bag, which the 2 colors I put into my Northeasterly for my Advent calendar are in here. And then I know to put it in this. And that's how I kept everything separated. Unfortunately, I think things got a little cuckoo, and I don't know where anything is right now. But hopefully I'll be able to sort it out, and I can figure out what to put in this. And this, any color yarn I put in here, I don't really care. I just put anything in this. And then my other project is in my Ginger Snap That yarn bombing deer forest thing. Oh, so cute. By the way, there is a movie on Netflix. It's called I Bought Me a Castle or something. It's with the guy from Princess Bride and Brooke Shields. Go watch it. There's a lot of knitting references and yarn bombing in there. It's hysterical. All right, so this is the Cozy Knitter Advent Skein. And it's basically 24 stripes of self-striping yarn. She divides in half, so you get 2 mini skeins, and in each skein you have a double repeat of 24 rows. So you can make 2 socks out of them. So you get 4 socks in all, 2 pairs basically. And this is the little design I came up with. And I'm not into doing vanilla socks, but I really like having a little bit of pattern and the rest vanilla, so that's why I've been designing a lot over here. Just having a little half or just maybe in the middle. And this is from Simply Serving. And this is the other one I did. And another Simply Serving gingerbread house. Got it. And what I did accidentally was the kids were running around and I accidentally did some red over here. And I need to do 11 stripes on the leg. And then the foot has to be 13. Because from other skeins that I've knit from her, it's been 13 stripes going down. So when I had the red there and I took it out, it was so much red I got nervous that I wasn't going to have a big stripe if I just cut it and got rid of it. So I decided to do the decreases starting after I do the front side of the sock instead of before the front side of the sock. So I thought I was going to get confused by doing that on both socks. I tried to do it evenly and I just decided to do all 3 days. I don't know if I would do this again. Well, I would probably buy this again, but I don't think I would be able to do it as an Advent project because I have a hard time when I sit down to do it that I just want to keep knitting or I just don't want to knit it that day. I'd rather work on something else. And I feel like you have to do it because you got to do all 24 days. So I don't know if I would do this as an Advent project, but the yarn is beautiful. I love it. I know other dyers, I would like to try other ones, but I don't know if the Advent sock is really for me. We'll find out next year if I decide to do it again. And this is another tip. I got this cute little tray, and I have a big sectional over here, and I'm always losing my cable needle in the couch. So by having this tray, it holds all my minis, my cable needle, and then my scissors. So everything's in one spot. And also I could put a little cup of tea on here because there's no table. Because I sit in the middle of the sectional. I don't sit at the end. I don't know why I feel very comfortable over there. I have a pillow and I just love that one spot. So this comes in very handy. So if anyone else sits in the middle of a sectional, get one of these. It's a lifesaver. I would also like to thank you to Alexandra of the Firebound podcast, Cheverell of Cheverell Stuff, and Natalie of Love and Stitches podcast. Thank you so much for showing my patterns in your podcast and doing giveaways. I really appreciate it. And everyone go check out their podcast. They are great. They're doing Vlogmas right now, Firebound and Love and Stitches. And it's so much fun to watch New York and Australia all through the holidays. And Cheverell is just hysterical. You have to watch her. She is amazing. And also I have 2 friends that started a podcast, Kim and Joanne. They did a knit group that I went to 2 meetings right before COVID hit. And unfortunately, because of COVID, we had to stop meeting. But now they did their own podcast. So it's called Knit Together with Kim and Joanne. So go check those out. You will love them. I hope you all have a happy holiday season and happy knitting, everyone. Bye. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Happy holidays.